So this project uses a 1x12x8 piece of rough sawn pine. I first cut it into 46-inch length, and the other end is therefore 50-inch. I then clean up all four sides of each of these pieces so that they're going to have a nice glue surface. I then move over my fence and just choose random widths with both of these pieces that I can cut down, some wider pieces, some medium-sized, and some smaller width pieces. I then chose a few boards to actually be cut down even further, about an inch off each end. This is really going to give that staggered look. I then start cutting up all the boards in random places, as it's going to look like a whole bunch of different boards this way. The next step is to actually get these boards placed on top of the clamps, which is a lot harder than it seems actually, since there's so many different lengths and they're kind of balancing on each one. These are held together with only glue. There's no need for any other kind of reinforcement. Glue is plenty strong. So I simply tip up each board on its end and apply glue to only the area that's going to be touching the next board in front. You'll see I actually kind of screw up here with the first board and have to wipe some off. Once the glue's applied and all the pieces are just kind of pushed together, it's time to start clamping them down. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of align the pieces a little better. They kind of shifted as I glued them up, so some pieces need a little more persuading than others. So once all the clamps were removed after the glue up was complete, I then threw an old pizza box and some scrap 2x4s underneath just to raise it off the table. That's very important. If you don't use a pizza box, this won't work. And then I simply just painted the entire unit white. So this is where the DIY of this could kind of get lost on some people. For me, this is a DIY CNC build, so it's still a DIY project in my opinion. But if you don't have a CNC, you can simply print out some templates and cut this out on a scroll saw, no problem whatsoever. I have a CNC, so I'm going to use the hell out of it. Once the CNC was done cutting everything out, I quickly blew it off with a leaf blower and began chopping out all of the tabs. I then flipped over the piece that was cut out, put it back into the sheet that it was cut out from, and this way it kind of holds it in place as I sand off the little fuzzy bits that were sticking out the bottom. After the bottom was done, I flipped it over and did the same thing to the top. So my go-to method for mounting giant pieces like this is to mark out 16-inch centers and using a keyhole router bit, create a slot that a screw or a nail can simply slide into, and you can use the length of this slot to adjust the center of your piece. And now the last thing to do to finish up this project is to simply attach the letters to the backboard, and using just a hot glue gun is insanely strong. As soon as I placed these down and pressed on them, there was no moving these letters for the life of me.